Evening, everyone. I'm Rob with MMORPG.com. Tonight I have with me Mike and Mitch from Harebrained Schemes. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Evening.
For those of you at home, you'll be able to see Mike. You won't be able to see Mitch. He's too sexy for the internet, and he crashed it. So
This is known. Just Google it, but be very careful and have safe search on.
don't want your significant others to see. Anyways, tonight we're here to talk about Shadowrun Dragonfall Director's Cut. And if I understand correct, Mike, you had a lot to do with this.
I did, yeah. I was the game and art director for Dragonfall.
All right. Anyways, tonight we're here to talk about getting a loop. Do one of you guys have the stream
yeah,
open?
I just muted it. Sorry about that.
Not a problem. That happens about every time.
Yeah, figured.
So I was telling you earlier, as you can see, I was actually a backer of Shadowrun Returns myself. It's one of the first real pen and paper games that I got into, other than D&D. And when I saw you guys get back, it was the first and one of the few games I've actually donated to on Kickstarter. So belated congratulations on the success. This is the third, entry, if you will, into the Shadowrun.
Well, a belated thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the support.
And you're welcome. Yeah. So what's different about the director's cut? I mean, what made you guys decide after putting out the original with Dead Man's Switch and then putting out Dragonfall that you guys wanted to go ahead and make a director's cut of it?
Well, a few different things. I'd say one, with the DLC release of Dragonfall, we had a lot of opportunities to learn from what we did on Shadowrun Returns, and released what we kind of felt like was a more it was a bit longer of a campaign. We were able to introduce a little bit less linearity and more character development and that kind of thing. And then when that came out, it was actually really well received, but we saw a lot of comments both from press and some players. I wish I could just play Dragonfall. It's a completely standalone story. Wow, Mitch, I just noticed your Skype picture. It's special.
I have no idea what my Skype picture is. So
non sequitur. Yeah, no. So a lot of people wish that they could play Dragonfall standalone, and we thought, well, why don't we give that to people? And while we're at it, it was a really good opportunity to take sort of the campaign and the writing and the storytelling, which we were really proud of, and have an opportunity to both improve upon some of that, add some stuff that we wished we could have gotten in the first time around, and improve some of our combat systems and the UI, things like that.
The key to all this for us, is listening to our audience. So, yeah, like Mike said, we had a whole bunch of things we wanted to do, but the real important thing is, what were fans of Shadowrun and fans of Dragonfall saying were important to them, and so we reacted to both of them, and it was a pretty easy list of things to make.
And then we decided we don't like money, so we gave it to everybody that already bought it for free.
Yeah, we're pretty decent game developers. We're pretty crappy business people.
Well, call me in about a year, and I could probably help you out with that.
Oh, because you're getting your MBA?
Correct.
That's not exactly a license to print money, Haas.
I understand that. I've been doing it a lot longer. Now I'm just getting the credentials to go with it. Yeah. That said, let's just go ahead and kind of sequentially talk through some of the different changes that you made. And I've kind of used your director's letters as a format to follow. And the first one that you sent out, I guess it's been almost 2 months ago at this point, teasing that there was going to be a director's cut. You mentioned that there'd be new missions and content, to include apparently new endings, which I didn't realize, as I just saw in the sizzle reel that I've got going, so people can kind of see some of the ambiance of the game. So what kind of new missions and content for the people that have already played through Shadowrun and Dragonfall they can expect to find out?
Quite a bit, actually. With all the new changes and additions, we're pretty confident saying that this is an over 20-hour campaign. So in the Director's Cut specifically, we've added 5 new missions. Now, 3 of those are what we're calling companion missions, which is if you played Dragonfall before, you've got a really cool team of kind of diverse characters that each have their own kind of backstory and personality that they bring to the experience. And before, you could talk to them about sort of where they came from and hear a little bit about their past, but you couldn't necessarily engage in that stuff directly. Sorry, I'm trying to keep it vague enough that I'm not spoiling anything about the particular characters.
Okay.
But so now there's certain missions that you can help your teammates with that are a little bit more intimate than some of the other runs of the game, which are very sort of you've got a lot of very classic kind of Shadowrun runs, and some of these new companion missions, in contrast, it's just you and one team member, and it's a little bit more personal than Aaron. So we thought those were a lot of fun. We always wanted to get those in the original product. We just didn't have the time to really do it justice. So we got those missions in. We've got a couple other new missions that you can play at various points during the campaign, and then we've got 2 completely new endings to the game, which I can't really say more about, but if you've played Dragonfall once, chances are you probably thought about at least one of these endings at one point.
No, I totally understand.
And now you can. So
yeah. So I enjoyed Returns, and I liked the shift in focus in Dragonfall to where it felt kind of like you were more concerned about the entire crew as opposed to just your individual character, which would kind of translate more to the pen and paper version. But now you're saying that these side missions would kind of expand upon the backstory of your crew that you're running with in Dragonfall to flesh them out even more and make them, more believable and real characters as opposed to how real they were just in the...
Exactly, yeah.
Right. I also saw something in the notes, and I wasn't too sure about it, but it looks like there's more character development for your squad members now as well, as opposed to the previous release.
It's basically related to those missions, and there is one of the things that our writer Andrew and our design team did is they actually just added a bunch of stuff kind of across the board. I'm not even sure I quite know about all of it yet, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily like a ton of new stuff, but there's definitely new polish to conversations that were already there. You get to hear. If you're a Shadowrun fan, there's some nice new Easter eggs in there that tie into some of the existing Shadowrun lore. As far as the characters themselves go, though, most of the new character development is tied to the new missions that we've added.
Is there a Ghost Mitch in this one somewhere to go with the Ghost Jordan in the first one?
No, there kind of is. You've seen him already, so you just may not have recognized the likeness, but the character of Green Winters is based on Mitch.
And actually, the ghoul leader is me too.
Yeah. So 2 dead or nearly dead characters in the game. Kind of like.
No, thanks for the feedback, by the way. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, no problem.
I would definitely keep an eye on your 6 at work.
Yeah, don't think I don't.
Don't let Mike walk too close behind you.
I'm moving my chair to against the wall.
Very good. And always face doorways when you eat. That takes us up to the next release. The next director's letter talked about the new music. So I really enjoyed, for whatever reason, the intro music to the game. Something about it just really felt right to me. What did you decide to rip apart and replace or just redo in Dragonfall as opposed to, or the director's cut as opposed to the original?
Musically, the director's cut is purely more music. We didn't change anything. We didn't redo anything. John Everest, the local composer here that we've worked with for several things in the past, he came in and did about 10 new tracks for both the new companion missions and some of the other new content. And he also did the music in the trailer. Just added some more stuff. Gave it some
and that's
more
the director's cut. For Dragonfall, if you like the sound, the theme song, there, a lot of the Dragonfall music content before the director's cut was done by the composer of the Sega Genesis game that you were talking about earlier.
Mhm.
And Dead Man's Switch was composed by the composer of the Super Nintendo game.
And I am firmly in the Super Nintendo game camp.
Yeah.
Understood.
This is a great divide amongst the Shadowrun fans. Genesis or Super Nintendo?
Yeah, I think the answer is Shadowrun Returns and Dragonfall.
Yeah. All right, so now we're actually going to dig into the combat mechanics, UI, and visuals. And I brought the game up so people at home can see. And quickly, if you've played, the first releases, you can look and see. Other than the PDA up in the top left, everything has pretty well changed, and I would say for the better.
You hear that?
It's, I guess the previous UI did a good job of hiding some things, but then they were hidden, and you had to figure out where in the UI they were to get to your abilities, and it wasn't really as easy to get around as it is now, where I'm playing, help me out here. This is very rarely that I play this melee character, and it's not a street samurai, it's an adept, I believe.
Yes, a physical adept.
Okay,
yeah.
Adept. So I've got a machete, and I can see that I've got my 2 melee attacks here. I have a killing hands, and then a quick access to my inventory and spell book. And I believe previously you could only see like 2 spells, and you'd have to go into the UI to try and dig the rest out. And you might have to toggle through your melee abilities over here. So while it was a cool looking UI, it wasn't necessarily the most functional. And while I didn't really pay too much attention to it at the time, since it's been updated in the director's cut, you can really feel that it plays much better.
That's awesome.
I don't have to say anything about it.
I guess that really didn't turn out to be a question. It was more of an observation.
We confirm it's better.
Yes. So now let's talk about the UI on the individual players, though. I first looked at these and was like, oh, these little pips over their health. This must be their action points. So that way, instead of having to look at the top right-hand side, I'm like, oh, he's got 2 action points. You look at Grak Attacker, like, oh, he's got 1 action point. Why does he only have 1 action point? Oh, well, I'll go with it. Apparently, I was wrong. What are those pips?
Those are your armor points.
And
those subtract from incoming damage.
Yeah, so it's a 1-to-1 relationship. Each armor pip that a character has is going to reduce 1 point of incoming damage. It creates a much more interesting tactical situation on the battlefield, especially later on in the game. If you come across an enemy with a whole bunch of armor, you're going to have to look for ways to get around that. So we've also introduced armor piercing and armor stripping abilities, which either ignore armor or actually take it away for the remainder of combat, respectively. And so that adds another sort of layer to kind of your considerations during an extended combat engagement.
It makes armor much clearer.
Yeah. And so your characters, likewise, if you bump their armor up, you can withstand a lot more incoming damage.
Okay, so previously you could pretty well tell cover. I mean, you would stand behind something and you'd either have a 1 or was it a half or was it a 2? The shield was either full or it was a half full.
We had a heavy cover, medium, and light. Yeah.
Okay.
Which we haven't changed. It's still heavy, medium, and light. What we did change was sort of the impact that cover has on gameplay. So medium and heavy cover now completely remove the chance to crit. So if your character is in cover, in medium or heavy cover, and the enemy doesn't flank around that position, you know pretty much how much damage you're going to take. You're not going to get surprised by a random crit that knocks you out in one hit. Likewise, when enemies are in medium or in heavier cover positions, you're going to have to actively try to flank around where they're at so that you get a clear shot, a flanking shot, or just accept that penalty. But not only are you not going to crit, there's going to be a good chance that you're only going to do half damage. So that's something that has become a lot more important now in combat to pay attention to.
Okay. I also read somewhere that I think the percentages were cleaned up too. Those possibly weren't displaying correctly the first time through.
There might have been some issues there. I think I think mostly we just tried to make it a simpler and clearer relationship to cover.
Okay.
So cover makes it harder to hit. So does distance, obviously. But yeah.
Well, right now I'm face to face with a security guard who's flanked and wounded, and about ready to be dead. He has no cover. Has no armor, shows no cover, and says I have an 85% chance to hit, and he is now dead.
That's the way to do it.
Well done.
Thank you. And now we go into the terminal, and we get to hear Glory apparently just printing my name out over and over again.
That's good job.
It must want you to look at it.
Something interesting, yeah. So I guess so. Oh. It took me a second to pick up on that one there. That I'm not used to playing this dwarf. There we go. Let's get over here. I'm not a decker, so we get to have the story, and I don't really want to read it to ruin it for anybody. No, I do read the story. I just don't want to sit here and read it out loud for everybody else.
Mitch can voice that.
Make them to play. Listen to me voice act. If you're reading this display correctly, the only exit from this room is the Holdfast Old Servant's entrance. But I guess it should be in a computer voice, which I'm totally not doing.
I think you did great.
On the western side of the building. Iger. I see Iger, and I think it's a man every time, and it's not.
Yeah, she gets that a lot.
What's going on down there, rookie? And why a German troll would have like a southern accent is beyond me, but she just got one. And she just snorted.
Yes, I actually snorted.
Nice.
Let's get this guy. He gave a German female a southern accent.
I think you're reading into that a little bit.
All right. And now we just have to survive for 10 turns.
This
Could
is
be
the
fun.
real beauty of text-based RPGs without voice acting, right?
You can hear your own thing in your head.
It can be whatever you want. Let's see. I need to get some heals going on. What do I have in my equipment? And I do have... I always look for the dock wagon, and I see Boomona, and I gotta get used to it that it's different.
Oh, yeah.
Basic med kit. Go ahead and get myself up there, because apparently we've got some bad guys coming in. He's in light cover, and we have 2 guys entered from the south. They have a target acquired. I'm trying to find any on here to show off, but I'm not seeing any around where I'm at. But you know, there are ley lines in the game, and there are also certain things that you can trigger that... Oh, is this something up here, or is that just part of the environment, these green bubbles coming off of?
Oh, those are... sorry, I can't...
Green bubbles should probably indicate that there's...
Oh, that's
that
right,
you can
yeah.
summon some sort
So
of
if you
spirit
select
to help you.
Dietrich there, your
Yeah.
sound, you should be able to summon a creature out of that.
Yeah. If you have Dietrich
I do.
selected, then you could see the ley lines and see the summoning area.
Oh, okay. Is that why I couldn't...
Right.
Yeah.
Not
He's the
everybody can see ley lines.
Gotcha. Okay, yes, I can. I can summon a spirit from there.
Yeah.
Of course, Dietrich, for whatever reason, he doesn't have enough AP to get there in one turn. Oh, we got more people coming in from the sides. They are not happy that we're here.
Should be fine. Stay on target.
Is there a way to... I know that you have cover, and if you just want to, like, hunker down, is there any way to dig in, or is that just not a feature?
No, I mean, there's definitely, depending on the level, there's definitely better and worse places to take cover. But,
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much fine.
But no specific dig-in mechanic.
Okay, I was just trying to think if there was like an Overwatch ability or anything like that, so to speak, where you could just kind of sit and wait until somebody came by and triggered your attack.
Oh yeah,
There
there is Overwatch, yeah,
Okay.
but your character has to be high enough level to use it, so to speak.
Ah, that's not me yet.
Yeah, it depends on your weapon or attack specialization when you can unlock Overwatch.
I just want to not get killed by the security guard boss for a minute.
Yeah.
Excellent
That
goal.
guy's a great example of the new armor system, by the way. If you do attack him, you'll see that most of your damage is absorbed by his armor.
Wonderful. Yes, he does have a lot of armor. That's great. All right, so I'm gonna try and flank the paramilitary guard and get one of them down before they all kill me. I get Dietrich to summon the spirit. There we go. And Dietrich is about dead. Don't know if I can. I don't have enough AP, I'm guessing. Well, I got one AP. This looks like it costs 1 AP. And it's a heal. Can he not self-heal with this spell, or?
He might not have a wound active right now, so the healing spell only affects characters that have a wound.
Gotcha. I was thinking it might do damage as well.
If bottle, you can see if he has a wound or not. Yeah, it doesn't look like he has anything. I think that's because he got revived.
Okay. So what's next? By the way, you guys got the director's cut out. How's the modding community going? I know you guys got a pretty robust tool set. What do you guys see in that community really create as far as campaigns are going?
Oh well, Jordan, who created Shadowrun as the CEO and creative director of the company, we did a whole bunch of let's plays of people's Shadowruns that they created in the tool.
Okay.
We also did a series called Shadow Labs too, where we'd play your content and give you suggestions on how to improve it. So that was a lot of fun. You can find those on our YouTube channel. And also there's a tag on Steam that says, I think it's called HBS Suggests. So you can take a look at that. There's been a fair amount of content that was really fun for us to play. One of the things I was really impressed with, and so was Jordan, was just how cool they were. They really used our tool set in some really fun ways. Like at one point, we've got this in the editor, this A-Team van, and at one point we get into it and we expect to transition to the next scene. And, everybody piles in the van, and then we get a scene inside the van, and the van is shaking, and there are lights going by and stuff. It was really cool. So people are really using the editor in ways that we didn't expect, which is exactly what we expected. We expected to see things we didn't expect, and yeah, we won on that front. That's for sure.
So now that you're seeing what the community's doing, is that encouraging you guys to want to get in there and start possibly creating a third campaign that you wouldn't quite be so nice to just give away to everybody?
Yeah. That whole giving away thing, I'll tell you, I'd do that again in a heartbeat. I do want the money, but, I don't regret that decision one bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, screw it. We're gamers, and we're so tired of seeing other game companies that I can't talk about, nickel and dime people. We just want to make games that people like. As far as what's coming next, you never know. There may be an announcement coming soon.
Well, I'll definitely be looking forward to hearing that. Since I got you guys, are either of you involved with the Golem Arcana project at all? I would imagine that you are to some extent, Mitch.
Well, Mike is the art director of the studio. He has his fingers in every pie. And so he's interacted with Golem Arcana, but, he's been pretty heads down on the director's cut and some other projects that we're starting up here. For me, I was at the beginning and the end of the Golem Arcana project, and all the way through I had to monitor it, as part of my studio manager job. But yeah, my fingerprints are on Golem Arcana. and I play it and I dig it. I was surprised at how much I liked it. I didn't expect to quite as much. I'm not a minis guy the way a lot of people are around here, and that's one of the things that worked about Golem Arcana was it allowed people that aren't really minis people to play a minis game and really enjoy it. I don't paint. I wish I was more artistic, but I don't. So I like these figures a lot, and I'm also not a big pick up a 400-page rule book guy. I'm a little more impatient than that, and so having an app that actually teaches me how to play the minis game worked really well for me. So I'm enjoying the heck out of that. And yeah, I've been working pretty hardcore on Golem Arcana for a couple of months now.
Awesome. So do those come, I know we've kind of gone off on a tangent, do those come pre-painted or are those?
Yeah, those are pre-painted and pre-assembled, yeah.
Okay.
They're sweet.
So I just got to demonstrate a feature that it's not new to the director's cut, but didn't come with the original returns, and that's load from last save, or you could load during the middle of levels, because I made it to the 10th round, the door opens, my team got wiped out.
Oh
no.
So yeah, I know it happens to the best of us. But
and clearly you're the best of us.
Yeah, no, really not. I'm pretty terrible at these. It's been a while since I played. I really got to get back in there and pay attention.
That save function that we added was, besides the Kickstarter and everything about that, was one of the first real examples of us listening to the audience pretty severely. Everybody's like, yeah, the save system. We want something else.
Yes.
Okay. And that's not an easy thing to, re-architect either. That took months of pretty painstaking, detailed work to save everything. But, we had that commitment to listen and to consistently improve the product. So I'm really proud that you're able to save right now. I hope you did at the appropriate time.
I did. But, that's... You bring up a good point when you say how difficult something like that is, because to the lay person, you would think it's saving. I mean, how can that be difficult? Yeah. You're just creating the ability for people to save.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've heard stuff like that before, and that, and you know what? I hate to use the word layperson, but to the audience that isn't really involved with game development, it's like, what? Everybody's got save system, just do it. Like, yeah, actually. We didn't make that much money on that Kickstarter, and we really only had about a year of development. So we had to work really hard to keep the scope of what we were making in line, which is hard because, we've got a lot of really creative people around here that really want the moon, and we want to give it to them. But the fact is, we got to get it done, and we don't have that much money. And if we run out of money, well, then, you can keep making what you want. We're just not going to pay you. And that allows people to scope a little easier.
Yeah, and, people like to eat, so...
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, we worked our asses off, and the team was extremely, extremely passionate to make the very best game we possibly can, in the time and with the resources that we had. But, we're never satisfied with our own work. I wish that were the case, but in all the years that I've made a game, I've been making games, it seemed true. You're never completely satisfied. So to go back, for Mike and the team to be able to bust out Dragonfall with all of the improvements, and there's so much improved in Dragonfall beyond Dead Man's Switch. It's hard to list it all, but there's also a whole bunch of things sort of behind the scenes that happened also because of Mike's leadership in terms of how the game was created and the process behind it. We just got better at our jobs. And then with the director's cut, again, it's just that, that chance to take another swing at the ball, and do even better with this stuff because we're just never satisfied.
Well, you guys did a great job with it. I speak on behalf, I guess, of most of the players and say, thanks for going through and, taking that second swing and using the experience you had from making the first two campaigns to actually go back through and retune the third campaign and expand upon it, and then to go ahead and give that to everybody who already owned it for free. And for the people that don't own it already and are looking at it and say, hey, this looks like something I want to pick up. I'm a fan of, the Shadowrun pen and paper RPG, or I'm just a fan of tactical turn-based RPG combat games, where can they find it and what's it cost?
So it's on Steam and on GOG and on Humble stores, and it is for sale right now for $14.99, and it's worth every damn penny.
And we're looking forward to any special announcements you guys got about any other games that you guys might have up your sleeves. So keep us informed, let us know. And with that said, is there any last words or thoughts you'd like to leave the viewers with?
Well, I've got mine, and maybe Mike has his. But if you want more Shadowrun content, tell all your friends about Dragonfall Director's Cut.
Will do.
That was mine.
So ditto.
Is this is our second release of the game. We don't have a huge marketing budget, so every little bit helps. We've been looking at some of the new stuff that Steam was doing, hoping to make it onto the right kind of Steam curator lists and all that good stuff. But yeah, honestly, if you like it, obviously if you don't like it, I'm not asking you to do anything weird. But yeah, if you're a fan, and other people. I think for me, anyone that's a fan of computer RPGs would find a lot to like with Dragonfall. So.
No, absolutely. If you're a fan of XCOM or
approach,
go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, I agree with what you're saying. If you like XCOM, but if you also like things like Baldur's Gate, etc.,
exactly.
This is definitely for you. I think that whole we're lousy businessmen thing. If you appreciate people that really give a crap about making good games and really give a crap about their audience. Show your love and tell everybody about this thing because we really give a shit.
You heard it here, folks. Harebrained schemes. They really give a shit.
Yeah, that's Mike. Can we get that on all of our?
Yeah, let's have a little follow-up conversation about our branding down there.
I don't know, man. Seems like I hit the nail on the head.
I think you did. And gentlemen, I thank you both for your time, and everybody out there, take a look. If you're interested in the game, make sure to check it out on Steam, GOG, or Humble Bundle. Have a great evening.
Yeah, thank you, Rob.
You're welcome, guys.